God's sakes. I'm still drunk from last night. Turn out the goddamn lights. Yeah, can we just do the whole show like this? Hey, everybody, how's it going? Yeah, I don't know who's out there or what you're saying because I can't open my goddamn eyes. Woo, let me tell you. Well, the European show has started. It's 10 o'clock in Los Angeles. What does that make it? 11, 12, 1 o'clock on the East Coast. And for everybody over there in London time, British Standard Time, should be right about when you're off work on a Friday night. You're kicking off your boots, throwing your keys on the counter, and getting ready to start your weekend. Well, that's why I showed up. What better way to start your weekend than right here? That's what I'm trying to tell you anyway. I don't know if you're going to believe me or not, but that's the story I'm going with. Okay, look. When I lie, you swear to it. We'll get along just fine. Who's all here today? Bartaloo-doot. Banana is the first guy that shows up on my list. Tina V, there you are, big guy. Look at this. She gave me the red, white, and blue hearts. Tina loves me today. That's what the universal code for love is red, white, and blue hearts. Mrs. Four is in the room. I see Mandy checking in. What's the matter, Trippy Pineapple? Oh, my God, Michael Roeder's here. Let the complaining begin. Luke's in. Lionheart. Lion, I'm sure you shut everything down. There you go. There Lionheart goes. He's trying to speak Israeli or something like that. You can't, Lion, you can't speak foreign languages, man. You think you can. You know, when you're drunk, you sound smart. But to everybody else, it's just gibberish. No. Michael Bardwell's around. Belly Garl. How come you guys do this? Why can't you guys just be named Bob? What's with Xerali? Zerali? Do you say it like xylophone? Is it Zerali K? Yeah, we could do that, but in South Carolina, I'm going to get this through this somehow. I'm going to mumble, bumble, fumble, and stumble through the whole goddamn hour. If I ever get there. Mrs. Nolan Void 37 Hers is in the house. Lots of Mrs. Ford checking in, talking to people. Good girl. Keith is in there. Allie's checking in with her big blue wrench, smacking people around already. No, she did. There's already a discussion. Let's just get it out of the way. Turn it up. Yeah, maybe I can. Let me see what we got there. I'm not sure why I'm not in green here. I'm usually in green. Let me turn that up for you. All right, now you got to let me know if that's any better. I'm getting complaints the volume isn't very high. How's everybody doing over there in Europe today? Raise your hand if you're happy to be here. See? Proof. I'm happy to be here. All right, so Gary Cruz has a complaint. Are you sure you don't want to run this through Michael Roeder? You sure you don't want Michael Roeder to handle this for you? All right. Gary said the ditz on the guy without parents or grandparents was unnecessary. Where to go? Gary's been around a little bit. I'm not going to jump on Gary and treat him like he's an outsider looking in. No. But I wasn't dissing on the guy about his parents. I was dissing on the guy because he was sort of making fun of me. Like, I don't even have parents. You're talking about your grandparents. I don't even have parents. Like I had anything to do with me having parents and grandparents still here. I made zero decisions on if they're still around. No. I didn't make them smoke cigarettes and die of lung cancer, and I didn't make them not drink alcohol so they could live longer. I made none of those choices. So when the guy comes in, he's like, yeah, man, you're talking about grandparents and stuff, and I don't even have any. I didn't make yours go away, and neither did you. I didn't make mine stay, and neither did you. It was my comment, my dissing, was on the fact that we didn't have control over either one of those things. But if you'd like me to go a little deeper into that, Gary, if that particular individual was upset because he didn't have parents, and I was talking about parents because that made him sad or feel uncomfortable, well, I know people that can't afford a car. Maybe none of us should talk about owning a car because they don't own a car, and that would make them feel bad. I know people that don't have a dog. Maybe we shouldn't talk about dogs. We don't want to upset people that don't have dogs. You see where I'm going with this? You got to be real careful what hill you want to die on stuff. So I didn't diss him like, well, you don't have parents. There's something wrong with you. In fact, I said the opposite. Whether you have parents or don't, whether you have grandparents or don't have them, had nothing to do with you. Don't feel responsible. And don't be mad at me if I have or don't have parents and grandparents. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't make those choices. Just letting you know, Gary. We can still be friends. Come on, come on. Don't. You don't have to leave. You can still hang out. All right. Once again, not only did I not have an agenda last night, I take that back. I had one agenda. I was going to drink as much as I possibly could, which I did. 2 hours went by like that, and it was fun. And then we got done. What was it? About what about 8 or 9 o'clock here? And then I was on till 1:30 in the morning. It seemed like in the chat room, the Gen X Talks chat room. If you guys don't know what the Gen X Talks chat room is, I'll let Ali put up a link for you. That that was something. It really was. That was a good night to be in the chat room, and everybody was drinking, and we went on for a long time. Gen X Mom, are you paying attention to the PayPal thing over there? Because you were shirking your responsibilities last night. You were just flubbing around doing it when you felt like it, woman. We run a tight ship around here.
Hey, you better watch your mouth.
I just got yelled at. We run a tight ship around here, as you can tell. I'm not real sure who the captain is, but somebody's in charge, and it's a damn tight ship. No leaks. Chedek's mom, it ain't you. You're not. I got to tell you, around here, I wear the pants in the family. And she just decides what color on what day, but I wear them. I do. Oh, my God. Okay, so because we don't, thank you, Ali, for putting up the chat room, the Discord chat room. Thank you very much. Because I don't have an agenda, what do you guys want to talk about? There's a lot of people. Gerald Martin's in here. Zerial. I'm now going to have trouble with that one. Dad, Dravy's back in the room. I see him. Norm C., you work for Jimmy. You work hard. You work for Jimmy. You work hard. Is that that's a poll, but I can't remember where it's from. Norm C., I think you got me on that one. Chat rooms, bananas. Yeah, they're closed right now. Lion closes the chat rooms when we're doing the shows like this, and everybody's encouraged to come over here. But as soon as we're done here, he'll go back in and turn everything on. You can go look around. If you're brand new, you can go in there and talk and do whatever you want. That's part of the cycle. But if you're a regular, if you're registered over there, you can go in and look around until we're done, and then you can come back. So yeah. Crystal Valentine says, "What's up, General?" Crystal, thank you for noticing that I am here and present and counted for. You can join the ranks in the back. I'm sure they're almost full by now. Boom, 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 boom. Oh my God, Garl, you guys. How about hobbies that don't cost an arm and a leg? Anything can be a hobby. Belial, I'm going to have to, Belial, be little girl, Belial, I'm having trouble with that one. There's anything can be a hobby, and it doesn't have to cost money. Look at people they buy a book and get a pencil, a number 2 pencil, and a pair of binoculars, and they go bird watching. How expensive is that? I know people that do that. It's their life's ambition to check off every bird they've ever seen. Yeah, that's a big thing, and it doesn't cost anything. So there you go. Matthew, Supreme Court. Yeah, I kind of figured that was. Stand your ground. Shorty Bulls and Bulls checking in from Oildale, not too far from here, just across town. Matthew, and I don't know if you guys are looking. I know we do have some European friends. We do. We got some European friends because you guys help me out a ton. Even if you're not commenting and the names aren't all there, you guys are listening, you guys are watching, and this goes for a ton of stuff afterwards too. The people that come by and watch the live streams afterwards. We get anywhere between 100 and 300 people floating in and out the whole live stream, and then after it's been up for about a week, we get somewhere usually around 8,000 to 9,000 people that go through. That's not huge numbers for a live stream. There's people that get hundreds of thousands, but our people, our 8,000, are quality. High-quality individuals. I promise you, every one of them. You know who's missing? I'm just going to say Deepak's not here, and then boom. All right, so let me say, what was Deepak? What are the red flag laws? Well, let me get into the Supreme Court thing, the first one. That Matthew, I'm sure everyone's asking, and there's probably some questions from Europe across the pond on the Supreme Court decision. And it's all over the news. The Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade. Roe v. Wade is overturned. Okay, well, so they'd like everyone to believe that there's now no more abortions. Abortions are now illegal, and that is completely not the case. Well, it's simple. The Supreme Court just said it is no longer a federal constitutional right. You can have an abortion if you want one. The states decide. That's it. It just goes back to the states. Now each state decides what they want to do with this particular issue. That's all it says. That's it. So for those of you over there trying to figure out the nuts and bolts, the street level version of this, that's it. It just goes back to the states. California decides, Florida decides, Texas decides, North Dakota decides. You guys decide what you want, which I personally agree with. I wish there was a lot more control over things. As long as the states don't go against the Constitution, as long as states are working within the Constitution, do what you want. I don't like that there's a federal rule that dictates things. If there's the framework of the Constitution, work within it and do what you want. I like that better. That's my personal feelings on the matter, but what do I know? So the other part of that is, and I don't want to go too deep into this, but the Roe versus Wade was in 1973, I think it was. And everyone's talking on you got Pelosi and everybody on the left up there screaming and yelling and crying today that the Constitution has been, rendered null and void. The Constitution has been overturned. Okay, before 1973, can you show me in the Bill of Rights where there was, the Bill of Rights shows where you get to have an abortion, where that's a rule, that's a law, that's a God-given right? Can you show me where that is? No, you can't, because it wasn't there. The Supreme Court, without going too deep, for lack of better terminology, they invented a constitutional right out of thin air. It wasn't there before, and they interpreted this court case and said, this should be a federal law. So they kind of conjured a constitutional right out of thin. There wasn't one before. The Supreme Court is supposed to interpret these things and look at them, not invent them and go, just let's put this on. They set a precedence. They set a precedence on a national level, and it became a constitutional right that every state had to follow. For lack of better terminology, and you can look up what I'm talking about and why, that's where we're at. So there's been tons of legal scholars, even people I know on the left, that go, well, that Roe versus Wade thing was kind of bullshit back then. I'm glad it's there. They were very glad it's there. Excuse me. A lot of Democrats and liberals were very glad that Roe v. Wade was in place in 1973. But they would also, and say, yeah, it was kind of bullshit how that happened. That should have never happened. It's a whole unconstitutional the way it was put together. But they're happy that it happened, so they left it alone. That's it. That's the bottom line. So now you have conservative justices that look it up and say, let's revisit this. And then there's people out, you can't do that. That's their job. Their job is to interpret anything on the books to make sure that it aligns with the Constitution, even previous decisions. That's their job. Look it up. All it takes is for one justice to say, I'd like to revisit this, and if he can get, I think it's 2 more to sign off on, let's take a look at it, then they do. Then internally, they do, and they can do that on any of their decisions. They can do it on any decision that's ever been made. That's their job. So the moral of the story is, in 73, kind of a fudgy way to do things, but Roe versus Wade got through. Now they revisited it. They're like, yeah, it was kind of bullshit back then. And it just goes back to the states. Abortions are not illegal. They're going to cry. They're going to say it all day long. That's all you're going to hear. Oh, abortions are now banned. Abortions are now illegal. No. In fact, do yourself a favor. Any news outlet that says abortions are now illegal, abortions have been overturned, any news organization that says that in America, turn it off. In the world, fuck it, the world, turn them off. Put a piece of paper and go, no, never watch. They're lying, and they know they're lying. This isn't like someone it tricked you into saying this on TV. No, they know. It's just common sense. It's nuts and bolts at street level. It has not been made illegal. It just goes back to the states. Now the states decide what they want to do. That's it. Anybody who's out there, this is a dark day for women. Why? Because the states get to decide? What a terrible thing for the reproductive system. It's just horrible. Why? Because they overturned kind of a bullshit decision. I just can't believe women no longer have the right to choose. What is this country coming to? oh, I don't know, common sense, and some people are still standing up for an unborn child. That's the other thing I get sick of. Everybody's yelling at me all the time. Says, it's a clump of cells. It's just a clump of cells. It's human life. It's human life. If you let those clump of cells grow, they don't turn into a dolphin. They don't turn into an oak tree. It becomes a person. It's human life. I didn't say it was a baby. Let's say it's not a baby. Over here, this big is a baby. Over here is a fetus. Over here is a clump of cells. All stages of human life. You're killing human life, right? In whatever way you want to put it. You mad that some people are standing up for that? Why? Why are you mad at people for standing up for that? That seems silly. I understand your part. You want the abortion, have the abortion, be the abortion. I got it. I'm not mad at you for thinking that way. I just don't agree with it. But boy, you guys sure hate me when I remind you that it's human life, don't you? So now the states get to decide that. Now it's not a federal mandate, not a federal law. There's no more conjured constitutionality there. No. Now it goes back to the states. And you guys, what a dark, terrible day that the states get to decide, that people get to choose. Wow. Yeah, that's terrible when people get to decide. Wow, why? Why do you guys give a shit about that? You know, it's not going down to the county level. I mean, it's at a state level. You get more control over your state, your people. Maybe people believe differently in Alaska than they do in Texas. Why can't they decide for themselves? Yeah, we wouldn't want people to have more power. No. We wouldn't want things to get removed from the federal government, would we? No. Can't have that. Power remains at the top, my friend, where it belongs. All right. Gen X Mom, you're over there pouting in the corner. How can I help you?
Oh, just $25 came through PayPal for me.
$25 came through PayPal for you. Where's mine?
From Mrs. Forwat.
No.
For a manicure. New fund for you from your crew.
Oh my God. Mrs. Fort Watton is starting a fund for manicures, massages for Gen X. You know what? You know what she's doing right now? You know what she's doing? She's sitting around the house in a t-shirt with no bra, on her phone, her hair all pulled back in one of those fucking weird little scrunchy airband things. I'm still drunk from last night. I threw on a clean shirt, drug something across my face, and I'm sitting here talking. Where's my manicure? That's what I want to know.
It's almost time.
Oh my God, I just can't do this anymore. Half of me just wants to just cry and fall back in my bed. The other half of me can't leave because this is too fucking funny. Hey, we got a new member. Who's a new member? Ward is. And Ward went in the fucking jar, and there's nothing in there, and he fucking kicked a subscriber out. Okay, that was badass. Oh. Real News Channel, $2. He says, sex results in pregnancy. God's gift is the child. Well said, my friend. Well said. Now let's see if the Real News Channel with his $2 can knock anybody out of there. Here it comes. The weirdest things have been happening in the tip jar. Oh my God. Did you see what Ward did? Ward's little purple dude. He's like, fuck you, I'm not moving. Everything just went right around him. He ain't moving. Oh. Michael Roeder, Roe versus Wade was nothing more than an escape for those gals who couldn't keep their legs closed or irresponsible not using contraceptives. Medical reasons aside, yeah, they always throw that up there. You're right, Michael. To a degree, that's what they do. Well, what about rape and incest? I'm not saying that I don't have some issues, some problems, and some conversations in those areas. I'm not saying that I totally have clear thought on those parts. I struggle with that, but most of them, and I don't know what the percentage is, but most abortions are birth control. It's that simple. It's dumb. It's really dumb. You don't use abortion as birth control. And they just like we just went through over here in the United States with COVID and the COVID shots. And it's like when it's abortion, it's my body, my choice. Don't you dare tell me what to do. All right, I don't want to get the jab. I don't want to get the needle. I don't want to get the vaccine. Well, you're getting it, fucker. It's my body. It's my choice. Now we're not. Come on. Set that aside. We only believe that with abortions. We're not talking about that with vaccines. You can't. It's not the same thing. You got to separate. One's about reproductive rights, and the other one's about protecting humanity. Really? Then you get the shot, and you're protected. And why should you give a shit what I do? Get your shot, be safe, you're fine, right? If it's a true vaccine, we got vaccines for polio, and polio's gone. We got vaccines for the mumps are gone. Vaccines work. Kind of funny how you're scared even after you get the shot, aren't you? It's my body, my choice in certain areas, just like Nancy Pelosi is a staunch Catholic. She's Catholic through and through until it comes to abortion. And then I have constituents, I have voters. I just need to, I won't talk about that. Just leave that over. And very, very, very hypocritical. Yeah, that's the word. And you guys know that there was an archdiocese. Maybe I'm getting that wrong. Somebody in the Catholic Church wouldn't give her communion a couple months ago. They told her, no, you're not getting communion. Your stance on abortion is wrong. You're not getting communion. Yeah, I thought that was funny. Finally, somebody standing up to her. Once again, the pendulum swinging. And the pendulum swinging the other way, just like what was the big thing today? It's hypocritical. First, the court says states can't decide the gun rights, the federal government will do it. Now they're telling you abortion should be decided by the states. Which is it? How very hypocritical. No, two different things. Two different things completely. First of all, the Roe versus Wade was not a constitutional issue. They made it one. They made it a constitutional privilege at that point. The guns, that's already set in stone. They're just interpreting what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do within the framework of the Constitution that's written. You show me in the Constitution, you show me in the Bill of Rights where it talks about abortion and they're fitting Roe versus Wade into that, I'll talk. All they're doing with guns is fitting it into existing laws that are already there, existing Bill of Rights, existing Constitution that already addresses it, already talks about it, and they're making it fit or not fit depending on what's already written. It is not the case with Roe versus Wade. It's not. But what does everybody say? It's hypocritical left and right, and guns and abortion, and you guys can't make up your mind. Yeah, you can. Just you got to have an education higher than a third grader to figure it out, and that's all. All right, what did I miss? I know I missed some stuff over here. I'm looking. Boy, Allie's blowing up my screen. What I miss? Go tell me. Low torque. My balls go to 11. I saw that go through. I was just in the middle of talking. Sean B. Good evening from Dublin, Ireland. Big fan. I can't read that. I got to scratch the whole screen out. Sean B. Good evening from Dublin, Ireland. Big fan. If we ever have the good fortune of meeting, we can swap stories over a few pints of Guinness, and I'm buying. On my way, Sean. On my fucking way. Keith Lanner, really? Member for 2 months, Legion of X. I tried to donate first time, but forgot mine. It's okay. You forgot your apple. It's all right. You're sorry about that. Real News Channel has become an extra. Thank you guys very much for joining up. There's a lot of in this jar over here. There's a lot of little dudes in there. There's some subscribers and some new members, and they're hanging on for dear life. For those of you who don't know, we sort of play a little game over here. If you donate anywhere from $1 to $100, it drops some stuff in there, and the lower amounts drop slower and less, and the higher amounts drop more. But the little Stretch Armstrong dudes that are in the little fucking tan guys, those are subscribers to the channel. If you become a subscriber, it goes in there. And the little purple alien sploogey creatures, those are members. If you become a member or if you upgrade, you get a little splooge guy in there. And the idea is they try to hang on as long as they can and not get kicked out. And when I'm drunk at night and some of that shit that goes on, one of those things fucking shot right into my beard. It disappeared right when it got here. I don't know. I know it's a dumb fucking thing to think about, but I can't help it. I'm just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. I gotta find fun where I can, okay? All right, what do you guys want to talk about? What's next? I knew that Roe versus Wade thing was going to come up. I got a text message this morning from Mrs. Ford really fucking early. I mean, probably not really early, but I was still sleeping. And I looked at it. I'm like, Mrs. Ford, what's up? And it says that Roe versus, oh, hey. And I went back to bed. And then it was another phone call. And it was a text message. Then Gen X mom got all over me about it. Then it's been all this morning. Who's this? Free Seas. $20. Oh, no, didn't move anybody around yet. Free Seas. $20 unallocated funds go towards Jack Daniels. Thank you very much. You see, I don't have to have PayPal. I don't have to worry about PayPal. I need to have friends in here. And I got friends right here, damn it, that do super chats right here with me. PayPal. All right, so where'd I go? I got to figure out where I'm at with this stuff. Let's see, talking about it. Yorkshire pudding. I'm late to the party. Good evening, gentlemen. Yorkshire, you're not too late. We're still running strong. El Coy, sobering up. What's going to happen to the whiskey fund? Get in line, General. Greetings from Mexico. El Coy, I don't know. There's a subscriber. And, oh, he stayed. Yeah, he stayed. All right. El Coy, I don't know. I'm trying to sober up. I got stuff I got to get done today. Deepak, I was raised a Catholic, but don't consider myself a Catholic. Believe in contraceptive, divorce, and in certain rare circumstances, abortion. Where in the Bible does it say you can pick and choose what suits? Yeah, it really doesn't. You know, in most religions, in Christianity, in Catholicism included, you're all in. You know, you're not supposed to just pick and choose what you want to believe in. It's not the way it works. So, Deepak, I'm with you on that. In fact, I align with most of what you just said right there, the contraceptives, divorce, and certain circumstances, abortion. I have a hard time in some of those things. But yeah, I'm with you completely. And my screen jumped. Zerial K, I have 2 kids. There's a chance that I have 2 kids. There's a chance that may have Huntington's disease. It's rough. I was thinking about an abortion, but once I saw him, I instantly fell in love and decided to keep him. It's funny how that works, isn't it? You know, there's a child in there. You know, you're having a baby, but it's almost like you can kind of put it in your mind that it's not really there or not really real or something. But then as soon as the child arrives, everything changes. Everything. I'm with you on that. Dravy dropped $2. Let's see what happens with his $1.99. A couple of dudes on top there. Here we go. Nope. Boom, boom, boom. No, they just told you to get out. They're not moving. That's right. Niners Forever says the general needs a pedicure. I'm telling you, it's just when are my needs going to be met, huh? Yeah, you guys are always doing stuff for the kid. You guys are always doing stuff for a Gen X mom. You know, does anybody start a Singapore hooker fund for me? No, I never even heard anybody mention it before. And why not? Do I not deserve an evening out with a Singapore hooker? I think I do. Hello, General, says Josh Maddox, saluting and getting in line. Michael's talking to Tiffany Mims. We're okay there. Boom, 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 boom. Mandy, I don't know who's in trouble, but it better not be me. KJ Texas, what's the matter? You so right. Getting into the bottom of the glass. Payday, got to spread it around now. There we go. Yeah, and Dravy just gave the whiskey fund. You're right, Dravy. That's my thing. That's your contribution to me. Let's forget the Singapore hooker. Let's just go right for the whiskey fund. If we keep me inebriated, if we keep me lubricated, as they say, we'll be fine. We'll get along wonderfully. Yorkshire pudding, I'm just recovering from COVID. Kept it away for the last 2 years, and the missus brought it home. Goddamn women. Yorkshire pudding, your missus brought it home. I think we need to quote the great philosopher from Bodfish, known as Iceman. Chicks, man. Chicks. Just brought that damn COVID home. What are you going to do? Juan says, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? I don't know. Jury's still out on that. There's some pieces that are moving around the board still that I'm waiting on, so we'll see. Lionheart, Singapore. Lion, you're going to get us both in trouble. Lion just stood up. Fuck yeah, Singapore hooker fund. Why is everybody looking at me? Well, what? Because you can't really say that, Lion. We really can't have one of those. We can joke about it, but you just put money towards it. Now someone's going to be on Craigslist or some other site. They're going to find us one, and they're going to find one for $10. Oh my God! What do we got? Super chat, and a subscriber. One gone. Whoa, well, one subscriber got out, one in and one out. That's getting full. Who's this? Mikey, like $5. Mikey says Singapore Hooker Fund, engaged. All right, we got $15 from the Singapore Hooker Fund. That's almost enough to get a Singapore hooker, I would imagine. Oh, my God. She's going to come running in. I love you long time. I didn't say that. I don't know what they say. I'm speculating, of course. Fried's here, says we pick and choose whose lives matter. Got it. Yeah. Fried, I'm with you on that, my friend. Low Torque. And a subscriber. Oh, my God. I've never seen that before. The dude got he didn't the subscriber came across the screen like that, and Low Torque kicked him out from right about here. Boom! That fucker was he was gone. Well, he's that way gone. He's that way gone. But still, I'm backwards on my screen. Never mind. Oh. Low Torque was punting. Oh, another $4.99 for the Singapore Hooker Fund for the rest of the way around the world. Well, we now have $20 in the Singapore Hooker Fund. I should stop right now and start looking. Yeah, I got to start finding me one. What are your options for Singapore hookers at $20? Is that a good rate in? I don't know where we're going with it. Singapore? I mean, the exchange rate's got to be great. Thrash for Life. He reminds everybody to like, share, and subscribe to Gen X Talks because I keep forgetting to whore myself out correctly. I do apologize. Steve MacDaddy, have a drink on me. $10. Thanks, Steve. That must have been a bit ago. Did I not see that one? Steve MacDaddy, $10. Have a drink on me. I must have been telling a story. I'm glad you saved that for me, Allie. Thank you very much for MacDaddy. Let him know I appreciate that. Boom, boom, boom. Chase you, Singapore. This can be the guys' trip since we're not going to Europe. Yeah, I wonder how the ladies would feel if when they go to Europe for a month, all the harem girls, I wonder how they'd feel if their men went to Singapore. Yeah. Oh, did you guys see? Look you can see Gen X Mom in her hand. You can just see it there. See her waving in the background? Let me get out of the way. See? Yeah. Yes, Gen X Mom.
Mrs. Forwatton sent you $20. The general is whining like Rotter. Whiskey is on the way Monday.
Oh my God, she called me Michael Roeder. I'm whining like Michael Roeder. Okay, Mrs. Ford.
Whiskey's coming Monday.
I got the nice part. Mrs. Ford, you just insulted me. You said I was whining like Michael Roeder. That I don't know. You can get any lower. Okay, you can get a little lower. You can get a little lower than that. You got Michael Roeder here, and you got Joe Haney in the fucking woodshed with his goddamn goat. Boy, Mrs. Ford. You redeemed yourself, sweetheart, and I fell back deeply in love with you again when the continuation of the PayPal message read, "Whiskey is on the way." I know it's illegal to transport and sell full green label whiskey east of the Mississippi. I know that, or west of the Mississippi. I know that. I'm aware of that. And I'm thankful that Mrs. Fort Watton can do the I Dream of Jeannie, and it appears because you couldn't do that otherwise. But every now and then it does show up. There's no return address on it. Doesn't know who sent it. I have no idea who's sending it. I mean, people send me whiskey, black label, and they send a single barrel and stuff like that. But the other one, here's a subscriber. Nope, that dude's fucking gone. He was in 1 second. But the green label, the pure green label, the green not the beige label with the green stripe. No. Green label. Oh, yeah. Somehow, magically, that happens, and I have one woman to allegedly thank for it, and you know who she is. No, Allie, it's not you. Oh. Oh, Mrs. Ford, you insulted my donations to Mom. No, maybe a little bit. I might have done that a little bit. I might have teased you a little bit about you pampering, a woman whose everyday life is so perfect and wonderful, painless and stress-free. I mean, she's married to me. She's married to me. How much stress can she be going through in one day? Well, almost none. Yeah. All right. Mrs. Ford, that was a little rough. Mrs. Ford, Devil's Night, he loved it. No, hurt feelings, sad. It's horrible. I almost cried. Almost cried. Yeah. Oh, Tomash are single-handedly winning the war over in Israel, standing a post, taking his turn, walking the wall with knives and guns in hand, protecting us at the bottom of the glass nation every day. Our general, we will not stop loving him forever and ever and ever and ever. It's because Tomash and I are brothers from another mother. You know, Tomash and I went to different high schools together. We're close. We're very close. I might get the opportunity to meet Tomash face to face. The rumor's been circulating around that there may come a time pretty soon where we get to see each other in person. That will be one of my best days. I promise you. That will be one of my best days. Mrs. Ford, Michael, I got him to say your name. You should have written that, Mrs. Ford. You should have said, Michael, I got him to say your name. Shut up. Shut up. Oh, for God's sakes. Oh, the Singapore hooker's at $30. Are we up to 30? Did I miss that? Yeah, that's good. Hey, whatever it takes to get us there. And then we got to figure out what we can get for $30. Cabo for the general, the salute. Thank you. Hey, Cabo, thanks for putting up that Israeli flag also. As did Laura, as did Tiffany Mims, and Dirty Knobs, and Low Torque. Thank you guys for remembering Tomash. It doesn't cost you anything to acknowledge a friend of ours from overseas, to acknowledge a friend of ours who lives over there and is fighting the good fight on our behalf for our interests as well as his own. We appreciate that. We do. Yeah. So thank you guys. When Tomash comes up and says something like that, thank you guys for remembering him. I really appreciate that. I remember when you guys do that. Thank you. So, yeah. Dirty Knobs. $30 in a Singapore hooker gets you $30 worth of VD. Chase Hughes goes, it'll get you anything you want. Oh, let's see. Who tipped? We got, what's the matter? And she got rid of a member. Look at that. $10 and just right over the outside. You goddamn soup Nazi. Holy shit. My screen is freaking out. On the left, it just popped open a chat inside of Streamlabs, started at the beginning and raced through every comment since we started the live stream. I mean, what the hell, man? That was weird. That was bizarre. My whole screen took up 1/3 of my screen and then started racing every comment and the super chats are going across. That was fucking weird. Whichever one of you has control over my screen, knock it off. All right, so where do we go? What else you guys want to talk about? We still got 13 more minutes. Come on, there's got to be something you're interested in. I really don't have much to share with you guys today, especially on the European show or across the coast. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, there's not a ton there. And I think I showed you guys all the pictures yesterday. Boom. Michael Roeder just looked up the price of a Singapore hooker. $4.99. Wait, live ones are $4.99. Not so live ones are a nickel. Not so live. Oh, just land there comatose. Okay. JDK Studio One. Why are you called the General? Believe me, it's a fucked up, drunken honorary title. JDK Studio One. Studio One. I don't even remember when this was. It was like 3 or 4 months ago. We were doing a nighttime show here in the States, and we were drinking late. It was a 3-hour show. Fried was in here. Fried was the one who came out. I don't know if Fried's still in here. When you see his name go by, that's him. There was a bunch of us in there one night and just all of us drunk off our asses completely. And I think Allie said something like, our moderator, she says, you guys, your friendship, it was collectively becoming like a family. It really was. We'd all been hanging out together and talking for so long. And finally, Allie says, you guys are like a cult. She's joking with us, of course. And then we took that, yeah, we're a cult. We need a name and we need a leader of this cult. And what should the name be? And then Fried called the cult followers, the body of the cult, extras, because we're Generation X. So it was just an X, no E, extras. And then it became, everybody's an extra. We're all extras. You're an extra. I'm an extra. And then it was, we are a Legion of X. We are extras in the Legion of X. And then somebody says, well, you're the General. Because you couldn't figure out, you call me I couldn't think of a religious name. And so somebody just said the General X, Gen X, General X. Yeah, it seemed to fit. And so we just ran with it. And we were just fucking around that night. The next morning, people were still calling me General and calling themselves extras. It just stuck. And then it got bigger, and we made some T-shirts, and we had some, I don't know, just one of those fucking childish things that got out of control and was really funny. Believe me when I tell you, General is the most honorary title it could be, in the most simplistic, undeserving way. That's how I got the name. I promise you. I did not earn it whatsoever. I couldn't even make up a way that I earned it. And then we were drinking, and as you guys know, when we drink and we get to the bottom of the glass, when the glass is empty and you're drinking in a bar, that's when people start talking. That's when you start hearing stories. That's when the truth comes out. People forget what they're supposed to say and not supposed to say, and they slip things out and the truth comes out. So we always drink to the bottom of the glass, and we became the bottom of the glass nation. When I talk about Tomash standing a wall on our eastern border, that's the border of our nation. We are the bottom of the glass nation. We are the Legion of X. We're just a bunch of dumb jabronis. We're just a bunch of dumb extras. and the name General stuck for that. So there's your answer. I hope that satisfies you, but that's how it happened. And it was some of the original offenders are still here. Some of the original people who did this 3, 4, whatever it was, 6 months ago. We're still hanging around doing the same thing. It is fun. I'll tell you that. It is fun. Oh, what are Studio says, I was hoping for a good story, and that was thanks. Yeah, I don't mind telling that once in a while. It's kind of funny. It is. You know how we all got there. Anna Banana says, so humble, love you. Well, believe me, humility is a strong suit with me just because I have always felt undeserving of things. And so I've always been super appreciative of everything that came my way, especially you folks in here. And so, yeah, it's not, you won't find me ever tooting my own horn unless it's about my exceedingly good looks. I'm very serious about that. If I ever make you take pause for a moment and look here, I know you can't look away. Well, I'm sorry. Remember, I can turn this down, all right? But I can't turn it off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, man. All right, you guys, what else was there? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Something else? Oh, bum, bum. The blood of your enemies will flow like pomegranate juice. Yeah, we had a pomegranate story the other night, Dirty Knobs. Didn't turn out so well. Okay, Mrs. Four, circle the wagon with pomegranates. I, you know what, you guys, I don't even remember all that happened that night. I remember the pomegranates had to do with talking about somebody was having a problem with their chick cheating on him or something. I don't even remember who it was now. And how I got up with pomegranates, I don't know. I don't remember the story for circling the wagons. I have no fucking idea what we were talking about. But I remember being very passionate about it. But I don't know what we were doing. Why were we circling the wagons? Who was attacking us? Michael Roder says, we all want to know what the kid is doing. And Mrs. Ford, the kid. All right, I did see that up on a little bit there. I was not trying to ignore it. I was just trying to remember as I went along. The kid, we used up our last test, our COVID test yesterday. He tested positive yesterday morning. He was feeling better. I mean, much, much better yesterday, moving around. He wants to come out of that room. We're just not letting him. But I think he's better. Now, I think today would be a day, you know how when you're sick and you start feeling better, and so you get out there and you're thinking, I'm better. You take a shower, you get dressed, and you start doing stuff, and then after 2 hours go by, you go, oh shit, I pushed myself too fast too soon. I should have not done that, and then you wish you just stayed in bed. I believe that even though I think he feels 100% today, today would be one of those days. I think he'd get out there and start doing stuff and playing with his dog and working on his car, and about 2 hours into it, I think he'd wish he didn't. So I'm going to pull the parental card on him, and I'm going to make sure that he stays down today. I'm going to make sure that he stays right where he's supposed to. I want to keep him down one more day. Plus, I'd like to keep him in the room until we get the rest of our tests, and then we can have him test. We can test him, and then if he's COVID free, then the chances are we can clean up his whole room and scour it down, and then maybe the rest of us won't get it. I think that's unlikely. I think Gen X Mom and I are going to get it eventually. I think we're just in too close a proximity. And we've taken a bunch of precautions, we do, but I think that we're going to end up getting it. I'm not as worried. Gen X Mom I'm worried about because she will be suffering in a lot of pain, but I think she's going to live through it when she gets it just fine. What we're all concerned about is if I get it. I'm a big, fat, white guy with heart trouble and lung trouble anyway. And that I'm the target. I've been told by my closest friends and doctors. Dr. McDreamy called me at the beginning of this and said, you are what COVID is looking for. That's what he told me, just straight out. So that's the one that we're worried about. Worried about me catching that. But it is what it is, and I don't mean that in a stupid sense. I'm just saying there's nothing I can do about it more than what's already been done. The cards are dealt. We just got to turn them over one at a time, see what comes up. Yeah, so now you guys know. But for right now, I'm fine. I don't feel bad. I feel pretty good. Gen X Mom feels pretty good. How do I know? I went up and felt her today, and she felt pretty good. It was fine. I check every day, too, just to make sure. Yeah, you feel good. We're good there. I don't want to let that go to waste. That subscriber just, boom. I'm sorry. All right, so Haven't I had COVID twice already? I had the big one in the beginning, yeah, where it just about got me, and then I tested positive one time, but had no symptoms, and we're not sure what that was. It was either a false positive, or it was one of those ones that some people say they found out they had COVID, but they didn't even know because it was so light. Could have been that, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, there were this one that was a while ago. So this one, whatever this new thing is floating around, hopefully, hopefully it'll be one that I've already had and that won't matter. So, but we're fine right now. Let's not dwell on that. We're fine right now. Everybody's good. My daughter has been back to work for a few days and she's doing great. She had the COVID first, and then she brought it home. I'm sure she brought it home from her work. She deals with people a lot, and then of course the kid got it, and now it's in the house, and he's coming through. So we're okay. As long as everything stays right where we're at, everybody's in good shape. Yeah, moving on. Bum, bum, bum. Josh Maddox, you better stay alive and well, General. I demand it. Well, Josh Maddox has spoken, therefore I must stay. That's it. Yep, we are taking the vitamins. Yes, we are. So, well, we're coming up on our last 4 minutes. Mandy, that's how I feel. General COVID is after me. The kids don't get it as they run through with no worries. I know, but it's coming. It's going to hit people. It's going to. Cabo Santiago, Jack has got your back. I know. I drank so much Jack Daniels. When COVID enters my body, the whiskey, the Jack Daniels is going to turn around and go, fuck you, leave. That's the battle. You can't prove that it won't work. You don't know that. You're not a doctor. You don't know shit. Fried, if anyone wants to join me in the chat room, I will go on video for a smoke session and Discord after the live. Yeah, the Discord server will be turned back on. Line's probably over there doing it now. We're close enough to the end. And we can go over there and hang out. I have another show to do in 30 minutes. I'm kind of running out of air right now, as some of you can tell. But I got 30 minutes to kind of recover, and then I do the Facebook lunchtime show. It is Friday. We got one more to do this week, and that's today. So be on Facebook from 11:30 to 12:30 Los Angeles time. For any of you who happen to wander onto the Facebook platform, just look us up. We'll be there. A few things to discuss, but that's it. So I'm going to go. I got to get out of here. I got stuff I got to do, and I got 30 minutes to get ready, which means I really need to go find some pants. It's very, very rude to show up to Facebook without pants. They're a different class of people over there. They're a little uppity. Yes, they are. They're a little proud, and they're happy to let you know. I must fit in. I might even have to go shave before I go over there. I definitely got to go put on some cologne. You cannot show up without smelling like you're supposed to smell. There's rules. There's rules in this world. I'm following them one at a time. All right, you guys, I got to go. So I will say goodbye. Thank you guys very much for showing up for this hour. Thank you guys for everyone across the pond on the European show, and not just in Europe. There's people in South Africa and Israel. I'm not trying to leave anybody out. We just call it the European show because it's that time slot. That's all. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And as usual, we'll catch all you guys on the flip side. I promise. No, I'm not kidding.